We gotta look at that side. But what do we do as person? If abortion and euthanasia are the extreme forms of this kind of despair and abandonment, what do we do today? As grade 12 Bishop Ryan grads, we're going to go into the world next year. What can we do even today? Well, I challenge you to become a prophet of hope. And what do I mean by this? What about the person next to you who's maybe going through a downtime and you're just a little bit hesitant to talk to them and say, how are you doing? How about the person in the cafeteria that we avoid because they're a little different than us? I guarantee you to open up and say, how are you doing? Hope you're having a good day. Have a conversation. I've been with people who have sat with somebody for half an hour and not said a word, yet the conversation that ensued by holding their hand said, I love you. You're precious to me. This is being a prophet of hope. This is the kind of thing that lifts people out of that idea that their lives are no longer worthy and they don't have to consider anything less than being hopeful for tomorrow. We have to become prophets of hope. And when we are down, when we feel our lives are not worth living, when we get to those down points in our life, reach out. Reach out. Remember this talk. Remember the prophets of hope that you saw. Remember Sheila, who was there for her daughter. Remember the people that have been with people during their lowest times. Reach out. I guarantee you, every single one of the teachers and chaplaincy leaders in this room, the staff, did not get into this for themselves. They got into this for you. So reach out to them when you are at your lowest. I guarantee you, you will see that there is hope. There is always hope, even in the worst situations that we can find in the world. But the world would tell us differently. Become a prophet of hope. I'm going to share one last story with you. So my daughter Kathleen, she writes this blog, and I had no idea she was doing this. She was living in BC at the time. She says, for a year now, I have been visiting an elderly person in a nursing home for an hour every week. And I play Scrabble with her. And one day, Maggie, 95 years old, pushes this newspaper article across. It says, medical aid in dying now available in Canada. And she says, I'm considering this. Kathleen, what do you think? And Kathleen, she didn't know what to say. It was like, oh my gosh. She said, Maggie, I would never abandon you like that. I would never abandon you like that. I want to journey with you. I love you, Maggie. And Maggie said, you do? She said, yeah, I love you. See the pictures on your wall. I know I'm only here an hour a week. She says, well, I love this Scrabble game with you. And I didn't know you loved me. She says, yeah, I love you. You're part of my family now. Well, the old 95-year-old woman, she posted the newspaper back and she says, well, I guess that's good enough. And they went on playing their Scrabble. And Maggie died a year later in her sleep. Who was the prophet of hope in Maggie's life? Each and every single one of us has it inside of us to be a prophet of hope to the person next to us, to that elderly person, to volunteer down at that nursing home. Each and every single one of us has that. We would stop anyone from committing suicide. We would try to do whatever we could. Let's try and bring somebody out from their loneliness and from their despair by looking them in the eye and saying, you're precious to me. How are you doing today? That's the challenge. It's the challenge of society. It's the challenge from Christ to love our neighbor, to lift them up. We can do it, folks. We've got it. Let's start today. Let's be a prophet of hope. And somehow, yes, we will, maybe even be the reason for somebody's tomorrow. Thank you very much.